what we have here is a New Home Combi DX, which I think is model 502. But as you can see, this is a pretty unique machine. It has a lever here to make it really easy to turn it around, because it's got sewing machine one side and a 2-thread serger facing the other direction. So you can rotate the machine and convert the machine to the 2-thread serging side for finishing stretch fabrics without even having to lift it. Janome made these. It's a Janome New Home. There were 2 models of these, and I guess they're gonna make more, but this machine has been sitting for a while, so it's quite stiff, and I'm gonna need to open it up and take a look inside before we can try it out. But yeah, it's got a single control dial here with a surge position on it, and the serger position, it has a warning on top when you're shifting between, selecting between the sewing machine and the serger. You need to rotate the hand wheel while you turn the selector knob. So clearly, whatever the clutch or shifter mechanism they have to shift the drive between the serger side and the machine side needs a little bit of help from motion to let it slip into place. But yeah, it's a very standard Janome style, Janome sewing machine on this side. The 15J bobbin case, and this machine has been sitting for a long time, so the material that's gummed up on the feed dogs is pretty crunchy. And there's a screw on the end here to open this end cover. So we'll set that aside, and then I need to figure out how to get the cover off, because the top lid here it is just the 2 screws under the handle, but it's got the built-in spool pins for sewing, so you can have thread cones for your serger side and separate spool pins for sewing. And there's also a screw on this other cover for the serger side. It's got a lamp in each end. It really is just a 2-thread serger, and there's even kind of looks like a seam there, and a sewing machine that have been taped together across a single motor to save the cost of having separate motors. So, alright, I'm gonna move the camera and take the lid off here. Alright, and we'll take our 2 screws from under the handle, and with the left and right end cover off, the top should lift straight off of this machine. There we go. And alright, it's got the classic plastic stitch selectors here from this era of Janome machine. And I'm turning the dial, but I'm staying away from the section that says it's the serger side. So it's got this sliding cam follower that if you find one of these, you'll need to make sure this is oiled up. And then nope, it okay. Yeah, it definitely has to turn this direction to get the serger to engage, but it's not clicking around that far. So I'm gonna have to clean and check it and then see what this serger side looks like in a minute. But yeah, as you can see, this side here, pretty standard sewing machine on this side. And then I'll have to, like I said, carefully figure out what the key for getting the serger to engage is. Alright, first real weird thing about this. There is this massive bobbin winder assembly on top, and that is because this bobbin winder, when it engages, you see it slides this whole clutch pin out, and this clutch bracket, and I think that is part of how the machine shifts in and out of, or between the two sides of the machine. So it's got just the two screws that hold it in place, and then this here pushes on that to release the hand wheel. Now we can also see there's this lever here that's engaging the clutch for the this engages the clutch there, and there's a piece here that I don't know what it is doing, and it's sprung and stiff, so I think I'm gonna have to get that moving and figure out what this is supposed to be doing before we get too far. Oh yeah, even just a little bit of work there and now it's moving again. So I'm gonna clean this out. It's got all this gross lithium grease in it. Clean it up and oil it, and then we'll see what to move next. So the bottom of this Combi DX, it's got this rotating spin lift here that is pretty clever. It uses the ball bearings to make it spin for the lift as well, there's dented ramps under there, so that as you pull this, it brings the ball bearings up the ramp. But part of the reason this is a little stiff is because it's all full of grease. So I'm actually going to take it off the bottom so that I can thoroughly clean that and re-grease the pivot here. So again, it's all that lithium grease that is only okay if you keep replacing it. If you let it build up, then it will, or if you ignore the old stuff and don't freshen it up and replace it, it just starts to get grimy, extra grimy, and it starts to harden. So, all right, and some filth under here too. I don't know how this was stored, but it's got sawdust and things on it. But I'll have to pull this apart and clean it. And then the regular, it's got the 2 screws under the free arm of the sewing machine. There's not a ton of grease in here, but it is hardening up, so I'll have to get that out. And is this the... Okay. This is a normal reversing setup. It doesn't have the sliding block here, which I didn't think I saw, but I was double checking. Alright, so I'm going to wash all the old grease off of the bottom side here and get that freshened up as well, or get that ready to freshen up as well. So I'll be using an old electric toothbrush and rubbing alcohol to get that cleaned out.